You may have clicked on this video because you're a new runner, just starting out on your running journey, and maybe you're finding it pretty tough. Maybe you're not enjoying the runs as much as you thought you would or expected. Maybe you're losing the motivation to keep running. Well, I'm going to give you 7 mistakes, and I guess mistakes is probably over dramatic, but 7 things that I see new runners do that contribute to running being harder than it should be when runners start out on their running journey. And I'm guilty. I've made all of these mistakes and many more when I started my running journey a few years ago. So the first running mistake that I see lots of new runners do is they run too fast, too soon. And I'm guilty of this. When I started running a few years back, every run that I did for the first 4 to 6 weeks was done at a high pace. I went flat out. I used to run around a track around where I used to live, and I used to absolutely run as fast as I could from the start to the finish. And I would say within 1 minute, I was completely out of breath. I was in complete discomfort. I used to get shin splints. I used to ponder and wonder, would I ever like running? How on earth can people like running? And it's only when I started to slow down those runs did I start to feel better. Did I start to enjoy running more? So ask yourself, are you not enjoying running because maybe you're going too fast? So go at a very easy pace. Go at a conversational pace. If you're gasping for air on your run, you're probably going too fast. And there's nothing wrong on your run if you stop or you have a rest or you walk and then carry on running. Nothing wrong at all. You're going to feel so much better by completing that run if you have a rest, if you stop, than ploughing through the discomfort and pain. Yes, running is going to be slightly uncomfortable for the first few weeks when you start. Obviously, you're asking your body to do things that maybe you've not asked it to do before or not asked it to do for a very long time. But I can guarantee if you slow down your runs and you're a new runner, you will start to reap the benefits. You will start to enjoy your runs a lot more. And when you start to enjoy your runs, you're more likely to continue it. Mistake number 2 that I see a lot of beginner runners do is skipping strength and core exercises. So when I first started to run, I just thought running was just about lacing up, getting out the door and going for a run. And I wish I had started to do strength and core exercises way earlier in my running journey. So strength and core exercises, you don't have to spend all of your time in your gym. You're not going to turn into a weightlifter or a bodybuilder. And we're not saying, do anything really, really complicated. All we're saying is when you're a new runner, yes, your body is adapting. You need strong legs. But if you're getting niggles and slight little tweaks in your body because of running, strength and core exercises really help lower the discomfort and the pain from those new runner type scenarios. So we're talking things like squats, lunges, calf raises, and core strength exercises. And if you choose to, in the months to come, to do races, strength and core exercises really help you in the later stages of races. It helps your running posture, your running form. You'll notice in marathons, when people get to the 30k mark, their running form slowly decreases, but having a really strong core just really improves the efficiency of the run and makes the run more enjoyable. So if you're a new runner, really think about introducing some small strength and core exercises, maybe twice a week, only for 15 minutes, and maybe after an easy run or on your rest day. Do a short 15-minute set of exercises that are going to really help your running posture, your running form, which will reduce the chance of injury and it'll also diminish those little niggles that you pick up when you start running for the first time. Mistake number 3, and I see this a lot in new runners. They bought themselves a brand new running watch, and I get it. The data that comes from the running watch is absolutely amazing. Your heart rate, your pace, your distance, your cadence, etc, etc. But I found with lots of new runners, they overly obsess or overly analyze the data coming from their watch. They always try and compare the data from the previous run's data, and if it's not as fast or it's not as positive, they get quite demoralized, demotivated. So ask yourself, are you overly analyzing the data coming from your watch? What I would recommend is maybe ditch your watch, maybe one run a week. And if you don't want to ditch the data altogether, just turn your watch around so you can't see the watch face and all the data. And don't forget, the watch doesn't know that the reason why your heart rate is high is because it's really hot outside. It doesn't know that your pace is slower than the last run. It's because you're going up a hill. So the data on the watch, even though it's really, really useful, it can actually turn into a negative, demoralizing thing as well, especially when you're a new runner. And you'll hear it all the time, beat yesterday, every run you should get better. Well, that isn't the case. Even with experienced runners, every run is different. Progress isn't like this, it can be like this. So if you're enjoying this video so far, do the channel a big favor and give it a quick like. Maybe add a comment, maybe you have a beginner runner question. Ask it down below in the comments. Share it to other runners who may be starting on their running journey and may just need a little bit of help just to keep them running. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be notified when the next video drops. And this one can really make or break your running experience as a new runner. Your running shoes. When you're a new runner, make sure the shoes you start to run in are appropriate for you. Get yourself down to a local running store, an independent running store, where most of the staff usually are runners, and they can recommend the correct type of running shoes for you. And don't be tempted by the latest and greatest or the most colourful running shoes out there. Always choose comfort over style. There'll be plenty of time to get the carbon plated shoes further on in your running journey. But when you start running, comfort should be the number one concern. Mistake number 5 is skipping rest and recovery. Now, as a new runner, you may be tempted to run 5-6 days a week. You've caught the running bug. You're really starting to enjoy the running journey that you're on. But that is a recipe for disaster. Even for more experienced runners, we know how important rest days and recovery is. And especially if you're a new or beginner runner, you are going to get niggles. You are going to feel slight pains and discomfort in your body. And that is your body's way of telling you it needs rest. So make sure, if you're a new runner, you have adequate recovery and rest days. So that may mean for the first month or two, you have 4 rest days, 4 or 5 rest days a week. You may only need to run 2 times a week. Don't think you have to run 5-6 days a week to continue a running journey, to progress. That is not the case at all. That is literally going to end up in injury. And that is why maybe you are unmotivated to run, because you're always running with a slight discomfort, slight pain, slight tweak. Rest and recover. And the number one tool that we've all got, and it's free, to help you in recovery is sleep. I know it's almost sometimes impossible to get the amount of sleep that we need, but now you're a runner, you need as much sleep as you can. So don't be guilty when you lie in on a Sunday until midday. You're a runner, you need to rest and recover. It's so important. Remember, the goal in running is to be consistent, and you can't be consistent if you're always burnt out or injured, or you have slight niggles and tweaks that are preventing you from performing at your best. So maybe that is why you're not enjoying your runs when you're a new runner, because you're burnt out, you're doing too much, you're not doing enough recovery and rest. Mistake number 6. A lot of new runners don't realise nutrition and hydration, how important it is now that they are runners. So ask yourself, if you're a new runner, Are you eating correctly? Are you hydrating enough for those runs? The reasons why you may not enjoy a run is because maybe you have no energy. Maybe you're always dehydrated. You're always thirsty. Now you're a runner. Now you're a new runner. You need to start to be consciously aware of hydration and nutrition. So try, if you can, to eat healthy, nutritious foods. Also, hydration is so important before, during, and after a run. Don't fear the carbs. When you're a runner, the carbs are your friend. Carbohydrates equals energy, and you need energy to run. So make sure you really dial in on your nutrition. Ask yourself, are you eating appropriately before you run and after you run? Obviously, after a run, the food you take will dictate how quickly as well you can recover. So protein heavy foods will always make sure your body is prepared for your next run. And this is another big one, mistake number 7. New runners often start running with a desire to become fitter, to become better runners, to be active, to be healthy, which is really great. Those are real reasons to start running. But what I found is most runners who start that don't have a clear goal or a clear why they are starting to run, they tend to lose motivation pretty soon after. And it's well recognised that new runners, a lot of new runners, after about 5 or 6 weeks, the motivation starts to fade, the discipline starts to fade. So what I find is if you have a goal, if you have a target, it will just keep the motivation up. It will keep the consistency up. And it doesn't have to be big, grand, lofty goals like running an ultra marathon within 6 months. These can be really small, achievable targets. So that may be just run 1K without stopping within 3 weeks. It may be run 3 days a week for 1 month. And a bonus mistake number 8, that runners in general, not directly only new runners, is comparing themselves to other runners. And we've all done it. We've all seen other runners on Strava who have run faster, further, or stronger, and suddenly you feel behind. Don't do this. We've all heard of it. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it's true in running. You have no idea how far they are in their running journey. They could be 20 years experienced runners. You just don't know. It is your running journey. There is no blueprint about how fast you should go, how far you should go, and in what time scale you should do that. Always remember, it is you versus you. It sounds like a cliche, but it's absolutely true. So don't compare yourself to other runners.